Okay, here we go, Julia. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us again today on Legal Lunch Byte. Today, I am thrilled to be able to sit down with my good friend, Julia Pazos, who is an intellectual property attorney from Brazil. Julia, we met last year. It's only been 6 months, really, since we met in Rio de Janeiro at the conference, and uh, had a great time. Very impressed with your credentials, but I want you to introduce yourself to our audience because you know your background much better than I do.
Sure. Hi, Jonathan. Hi, everyone. I'm absolutely thrilled to be here. My name is Julia Pazos, as Jonathan just mentioned, and I serve as a partner at Sescom Barrier. Sescom is a leading full-service law firm here based in Brazil. I have over 20 years of experience leading all cases in IP and innovation and also technology. Since 2016, I've been deeply passionate about Web3. At that time, Web3 wasn't Web3, was just blockchain. But in that year, in 2016, I've heard someone telling in a meeting about blockchain, and I was like, okay, what is that? And I began studying blockchain, and now I'm completely captivated on the theme and working a lot with Web3, blockchain, AI, obviously always with IP and privacy background. And today I'm committed to leveraging my work and my experiencing in navigating the landscape of Web3, taking into consideration IP privacy. And I'm so excited to be here to share our cases and discuss about all this topic with you. And thank you very much for having me, Jonathan. It's a pleasure.
It is a pleasure. Thank you so much for making the time to do it. So let's kick our conversation off with you explaining what are the main emerging technologies currently in Brazil.
Sure. First, we have AI. I cannot begin talking about another technology than AI because it's on the hot topic for all countries. So we have been working and understanding AI here in Brazil and also developing AI technologies and companies here. Next, of course, we have Web3. And when we talk about Web3 businesses, we are including traditional companies, traditional business that are entering in Web3 and willing to begin working with technologies that involves Web3 ecosystem. And we have actually here in Brazil a very passionate and a huge Web3 community. So next month, we are having Web Summit here in Brazil. We have the Web Summit Brazil in Rio, and we have just a stage for Web3 discussions. So this is a technology that, not a technology, but an ecosystem that is really improving and gaining muscles here in Brazil. When we speak about blockchain, of course, we cannot speak about blockchain, but looking not only just to cryptocurrencies or crypto assets, but also everything that involves blockchain. So we have been dealing with a lot of new business here, including supply chain management for in blockchain, digital identity verification. This is really nice because the Brazilian government is issuing all our ID from now on in blockchains. So this is really good. It's interesting.
Wow.
Yeah, it is. So we have been improving and working a lot with blockchain solutions here. Another thing that is really exciting and I personally love is XR. So all the technologies that comes with extended realities. And here we are seeing leverager for immersive trainings, experiences, marketing campaigns, innovative customer engagement strategies based on XR, and business are shaping and using XR to give brand experiences to be much more close to the audience and to the public with their audience. So this is something that is like pumping here in Brazil a lot. We can see a lot of use. I'm part of an association called XRBR. I'm part of the board, and I've seen the number of associates improving and growing a lot here. So this is something that we are dealing and working a lot with. And of course, we have 5G and we have IoT, Internet of Things, quantum computing, and AI very connected with health. So we have been seeing the increasing of health techs in Brazil. I think that these are the main technologies we are dealing right now. It's a lot. It's a lot.
So much. And I love hearing you speak about this because you and I think about this a lot. Our clients ask us questions very deeply in this. Our colleagues come to us with their questions. It's so much fun to hear you talk, kind of wide ranging about all of the different applications, all of the technology. It sounds just exactly what I'm seeing in my market here in Salt Lake City, Utah as well. So how far? I know Brazil is a massive country. And I know, you have some very urban centers and then very rural areas. How far are these new technologies pushing into the countryside? Is it still mostly focused on the cities, or is it being pushed out to the more rural areas in Brazil?
It is focused on the big cities, but we have been dealing a lot with when we talk about countryside, we talk about agronegócios, that is how we call here in Brazil, agri-tech, agri-things, and we have been seeing a lot of AI related to agribusiness. So I think that we are mainly concentrated here in São Paulo, in Rio, in big cities, but when it comes to the countryside, there's some pushes on the technology related to the agribusiness. But of course, here, when we talk about São Paulo and Rio, we are the main cities that are working, dealing, and based companies. The companies are based here and working here. The devs are here, so we are much more prepared, I think.
That's so interesting. I'm always thinking about agriculture as well. I grew up in the upper Midwest here in the U.S., in Wisconsin, and in farm country, and so I think a lot about my friends who are still farming and how they're working to optimize yield. And I know that's a massive consideration for everyone in the world, especially for a large agricultural center like Brazil that exports so much to other markets, and then the other markets, especially in Asia, Southeast Asia, that rely on those exports. So that yield optimization is so important, always in the conversation.
Yeah. But we have, of course, huge companies that deals with agri-tech and agribusiness, and they are developing a lot of technology on that side.
Great. So what about some of the challenges around blockchain? I know there's when the market moves, everyone gets excited, and the market's been up. Everyone was kind of waiting through last year and saying that it's got to go up. That the market's going to turn up, and Bitcoin has 2x'd, I think, or more. But what are some of the challenges that you're seeing, even as the market is rebounding?
Well, when we talk about cryptocurrencies, there is always a regulatory framework and all challenges that comes with that. We are talking about a new technology, but we are talking also about a very regulated market. So this is always a challenge that we have to deal with. We have legislation on crypto here in Brazil. We have the Central Bank of Brazil dealing with money laundering, and also we have CVM, which is our institution that take cares of all the value. I forgot how to say in English the word, okay. But I think it's almost the same as SEC. Mm-hmm. So they regulate, and sometimes when it takes, we understand that this has some value and it needs to be regulated by CVM. We need to run like how we test and so on. So this is always a challenge that we have to deal here. So we need to be very prepared to put all our clients' businesses working and in compliance with the legislation we do have here. But we don't have a specific blockchain legislation in Brazil. This is also a challenge because we have LGPD here. This is a legislation based on the GDPR and deals with privacy. And you know that when we deal with privacy, we have very specific regulations that sometimes does not talk with blockchain provisions. For example, in LGPD, you have the right to erase at the time you want all your personal data. But if it is on a blockchain, how we can deal with that? This is something that we have been seeing as a challenge, how to deal with that, how we can work with that. I don't know if you have been seeing something similar there, this kind of discussion. I'm a member of a blockchain, an association of trusted blockchains, and we have been discussing a lot about this all around the world. So probably you are facing this challenge also, I think.
Absolutely. When you have a distributed ledger system, I mean, there's no way to completely marry the idea of personal identity and right to remove your information and a fully distributed system where you just have to get the nodes to agree that we're going to update the ledger and remove something. You're right. It's consideration. In the U.S., California has a CCPA, which is the equivalent of the GDPR, and but it's a state by state legislation. So there's been no federal push at this point to adopt that. So the U.S., we like to let the entrepreneurs run wild for a little bit, and then if it gets crazy enough, then we'll bring some legislation on top. But it's still very much there's a lot of push for privacy in the U.S., but also a lot of push for for autonomy and for pushing the limits of what businesses can do. So it's a very interesting place to sit, but never easy in the U.S. to manage all of this.
Yeah, and another thing that is important to mention, because I'm an IP person, is that people think that you can protect trademarks or patent through blockchain. And we have some small business trying to sell this, but this is not correct. If you want to enforce your IP rights, you need to register trademarks with the Brazilian Patent and Trademark Office, and you need to protect your patent in the Brazilian Patent and Trademark Office. So this is something that we need to educate people. Okay, it's really nice if you protect your copyright through blockchain, but when we are talking about trademarks and patents, please go to the PPTO, otherwise you won't have rights to enforce. So this is something that is really challenging us right now here also.
It's great. So in the last couple of minutes we have together, can you talk about AI? What is Brazil doing on legislation? Are they leaning toward what the EU has done with MiCA? What's kind of the lay of land right now?
Sure. Today, here in Brazil, we are discussing the recent developments regarding AI. Of course, we are basing everything we have on the EU AI Act that has been recently issued. Brazil normally takes part of a broad legislation to construct our legislation. So we are doing this right now. And we have been seeing people recognizing that it's important to legislate AI, but on the other hand, we need to have all the businesses, all the AI creators and so on developing. So this is something that we are trying to understand how to deal with. But Brazil is working with a legal framework. People are saying that maybe in May, in the first half of this year, we're going to have our act, but we are not comfortable with that because legislators are not discussing with experts, with other people that can bring important, valuable thoughts about AI. So we are a little bit concerned about that. But on the other hand, probably they will take a lot of insights from the EU AI Act. So this is where we are right now. We don't have a legislation, but on the other hand, we have IP rights, we have privacy legislation, we have consumer legislation that we can use right now for AI, but we don't have any specific legislation here.
That's great. Julia, we're at time. The 15 minutes goes very quickly, but I'm so glad that we
Really
got
quickly, sorry.
really, no, it was perfect. Thank you so much. I'm really looking forward to catching up with you in person when we speak in DC in May on blockchain. It's going to be a lot of fun.
It is. Thank you very much. It was my pleasure being here with you.